I enlisted in 1999. I went to Afghanistan first in 2002. College has always been a big ambition of mine. The military takes great care of you and gives you the opportunity to go get your education. The education is not only benefiting you, but also if you're making the military a career, it's great for your promotion. It does nothing but better your life. As soon as our helicopter touches down on the ground, we were receiving enemy fire. We eliminated that threat. My platoon leader and I were moving up toward the enemy position. And as I trailed in, I was the last man into this courtyard. And as I come in, they're immediately going into a building kitty corner. As I'm standing on the outside of the doorway, I'm saying, give me a guy, because I know the courtyard still is a open area threat, so I want to clear that. And as soon as I get a bump up on my shoulder, it's a PFC Robinson at the time. He bumps me and we start moving, and as soon as we break a corner, there's two enemy combatants with AK-47s just spraying at their hips. And I continue to lead them across. We run across a little open area, probably 8 feet, and get behind this little building, which they ended up calling a chicken coop because it was a smaller building. He followed me. He got shot right below his left armpit, around the rib cage area. And we got behind the building, still heavy volumes of fire coming around the building, and I immediately tell him to start doing self-aid. I get on the radio. I had gotten shot through both my legs at the time. I didn't know it was both the legs. I thought it was just my left thigh. It felt like a hammer slamming into your thigh. At that point, I prepped a grenade, threw it over the building. As it went off, Sergeant Higgins, another one of the Rangers, came running up to us, and I immediately pointed him to Robinson, said start helping him, start pulling security, because my biggest fear was the enemy was going to converge on us and come around the building and just finish us while we're there. At that point, my legs started hurting. So I sat down, and the next thing we know, we hear a loud blast, and kind of knocks those two to the ground, and they sit up and they look at me and they're like, what the hell was that? And I said, well, they're throwing grenades, keep your heads down and keep pulling security. And I get it back up on the radio, give them an update. As I'm pulling security on the left side of the building, I turn around to check again on my guys. There's a pineapple grenade sitting in the middle of us from one another. And I immediately recognized it as a threat to themselves, or to them and myself. And I reached over and I grabbed it, and as soon as I started to throw it, it exploded as my hand opened up, and I sat up, grabbed my wrist, well, below my wrist, and the hand was completely gone, severed at the wrist like a circular saw had come through and ripped it off. And really vivid picture in my head as to what it looked like. I mean, I sat up, and for a second I thought, why isn't this thing spraying blood everywhere? And then I realized, okay, I got to take care of it. Grabbed a tourniquet, applied a tourniquet on there, and then you could smell the burning flesh. You could see the radius and the ulna poking up about 1/2 inch, and then just shredded skin hanging all around the edges, and it was oozing. But I got the bleeding to stop, applied the tourniquet, got back on the radio, called my command, and they said, okay, help's on the way.
The Medal of Honor to an extraordinary American soldier, Sergeant First Class Leroy Petry.
I got a phone call from the president saying that he was going to approve the Medal of Honor, and that he'd like to extend an invitation for myself and my family to come to the White House to receive it. Walking into the Oval Office, I kind of just in awe, just staring around, looking at everything that he had in there, and then next thing I know, I feel a tap on my shoulder. He's like, all right, Sergeant Petry, let's get going. We got to get to the ceremony. And then he signed my citation, and And that's when I noticed he was left-handed, and I said, well, I'm new to left-handed. How do you keep from smudging everything?
Please join me in saluting one of those heroes, Leroy Petry.